Welcome to the vCom Solutions Partner Training Series. We are excited to have you here as we dive into how you can unlock new revenue opportunities by solving key business technology challenges for your customers. In this training series, I'll take you through our 3 core products and show how they simplify the biggest pain points businesses face by saving time, reducing costs, and maximizing visibility to drive better outcomes for both you and your customers. By the end of this series, you'll have a clear understanding of how you can use our platform to drive real value while strengthening your role as a trusted advisor. Let's get started. In today's video, we are going to be talking about all things planning and procurement. But let's take a quick step back and talk about lifecycle management. You've definitely heard reference at this point to network lifecycle management or mobile lifecycle management. Maybe you've seen those in the App Direct marketplace. So what exactly does vCom mean when they reference lifecycle management? And this is it. Managing the 9 phases, aka problems, aka jobs, functions, responsibilities, whatever you'd like to call them, of recurring IT spend. And on the right here, we have the life cycle of an IT asset, in our opinion, and we have chopped that up into 9 different phases. And we fully believe you need to be managing all 9 of these phases in order to be managing your IT effectively, which is how we came up with our 3 products. So planning and procurement, which we are going to review today and get into solution design, sourcing, and contracts. Operations management will be the next session for orders, assets, and tickets, and then ending with expense management, so diving into invoices, accounting, and analytics. Ultimately, the main reason you want to partner with vCom is so we can deliver these 3 key values. Because when it comes to managing all 9 phases of an IT asset, there is a lot of wasted time. So we are here to save you time, give you time back to focus on decision making and optimizations and other functions that are bringing more value to your business. And giving you information, ultimately. The status quo when it comes to working with vendors today is very much about you can't save money on what you can't see. So let's make this as difficult as possible to understand, which I'm sure you as partners are all familiar with. And without those existing relationships and channels with those relationships, struggle with that too, working directly with carriers. So we support with that as well. And last but certainly not least here is saving money. So giving you that shareholder value back through many different ways, a lot of soft cost savings because of course time is money and one of our main focuses is to save you time, but also through those hard cost savings with negotiations and helping you optimize your environment so that there are no wasted dollars in your infrastructure. And you will hear these 3 themes throughout the entire presentation, throughout this whole series. So, before we talk about our product offering, let's talk about the challenges we most often hear and why we really focused planning procurement the way that we did. And these will be very familiar to you. And something to note is you guys as advisors are the partners to your customers, right? And so obviously you're going to be very familiar with these challenges and complexities and pain points. That being said, working with vCom doesn't mean we replace you in that. It means we become an extension of your team. So you now have a whole group of experts at your disposal to support with planning and procurement projects. And a lot of the challenges that we see when we work with customers directly and in the partner channel are unclear technology needs and business priorities. Many teams are bogged down into the day-to-day activities and therefore lack the bandwidth to even just plan appropriately, have a 1-year plan, let alone 5 or 10 years for their infrastructure. Limited time and expertise for vendor and technology research. Obviously, it's wonderful. We work in such a fast-paced industry that has new technologies coming to the market. But that being said, that leaves a lot of room for education gaps and a need for upskilling that isn't always there because, again, we are lacking the time to understand that technology, let alone figure out which ones work best for our business when new companies and products come to the market. Resource constraints in the sourcing and RFP process, which is lengthy, and I'm sure you as partners and advisors are all familiar with that. Managing multiple vendor relationships. Nobody loves this. Have never heard a singular customer say, oh, I love the fact that I have to juggle so many different account reps, so many different portal logins. Or on the flip side of that, sometimes customers will get stuck in the singular vendor kind of false sense of this is easier to just do everything with one vendor, so I'm going to do that. But then maybe you're not negotiating the best pricing, or everything's under contract for forever. And there are other kind of pitfalls that come with that mentality as well. It's like a false sense of security in that single vendor trap. Contract and purchase request complexity. So keeping track of your contracts, it's like a one-time signature deal, and then you got to store it and remember where you put it. And of course, the complexity around that. Again, the upskilling to understand for these new technologies, what are the right questions that I'm asking to making sure I am signing for the right thing. Inefficient documentation and lack of procurement visibility, stakeholder alignment and approval bottlenecks, and struggling to balance cost control with innovation. The never-ending seesaw. We've got to innovate, we've got to push forward, but we also need to cut costs at all time. So how do we continue to do that? All in all, the pain points summarized here: increased costs and inefficient spending, delayed decision-making and technology deployment, and reduced business agility and competitive edge. Something nobody wants to see for their customers. So that being said, let's talk vCom's planning and procurement solution. And what exactly are we aiming to do here? We want to give you the tools and expertise to buy at the absolute best price from a vendor-agnostic partner. That's right, we do not care which vendors you work through. We just want to help you manage that asset no matter the carrier that it's with. So starting on the left, solution design, those large scale projects, the things that are going to require those lengthy RFPs, infrastructure audits, vendor scorecards, RFP development, capacity planning. Those are all the different types of tasks and activities and much more that we can support when it comes to solution design. And then you also get our subject matter experts. So here at vCom, we have a group called the Technology Solutions Group, and they are technology experts, industry leading experts in all of the 6 buckets of spend. So network, mobile, collaboration, cloud, hardware, and SaaS. And they are now at your disposal when you partner with vCom and decide to utilize vCom with your customers. And they're available to you for any of those things that go along with solution design and to do a lot of the heavy lifting. So you're already seeing how you save time working with vCom here. And when it comes to sourcing, we have vendor agnostic marketplace, proposal and quote management, custom pricing catalog, and the vendor availability finder. So all of these are what you're going to see in vManager in just a little bit, and a lot of tools to streamline the sourcing process. And this is that really day-to-day needs, or I just need a circuit or some mobile phones, and it's not those large-scale projects. So the individual shopping, hence the little shopping cart icon. And then last but certainly not least here is contract management. So we can support with contract negotiations and review, document center, and aggregated buying power. So aggregated buying power meaning our Quantum Shift channel. So you may have heard reference to Quantum Shift at some point looking at vCom, and that really is our wholesale, so to speak, quote unquote, channel, where we provide the most visibility and robust support when it comes to purchasing through vCom. And you'll see a little bit more about that in vManager as well. So without further ado, let's go ahead and hop into vManager, because the best way to learn this stuff is to see it. Welcome to vManager if this is the first time you are seeing our platform. So when you log in, you will see this landing page, which is our homepage, and something might look familiar to you here. And that is the wheel that I talked about earlier of Lifecycle Management. It's stretched out across the top, and that is our ribbon of navigation for the tool. So we make it as intuitive as possible to find what you're looking for. Do you have a question about an existing asset or an invoice charge, or do you need to start a new shop request? You get the idea. Below that, we also have a universal search field, so you can just quickly enter in a circuit ID or a service type or a location or even a custom naming convention if your customer utilizes that here. We have action items to bring to your attention if there's a pending service order, if there's pending APE posting file allocations, even contracts coming up for renewal. We have a favorite section, so you can have quick links to your favorite areas of the tool, since there is a lot here to cover. And then below that, we have dashboard. So a few high-level reports that show you a snapshot of your current activity with vCom, and these can be swapped out for other stats depending on your role and your needs. But without further ado, let's get to the planning and procurement menus. So under design here, there is the solution design process. And again, when we say solution design, we're talking about large scale projects, things that span across many or all sites, new technology deep dives that you're looking to implement across the board, things like that, right? That really require that RFP process and team. But what does that look like with vCom? Well, this page is your answer. This lays out all of the processes and steps that our teams take when they are going through a solution design project with your customers and with you. And again, when it comes to working with vCom as partners, our SMEs become a part of your team. They're an extension of you, extra hands at the table to be able to offload some of this work and work with your customers on these projects, all the way through negotiating the final contract. So if you ever have any questions on that, this page is a great reference. And if a customer has a project that's currently open and we're working on items for them, this is also where we can upload their specific documents and materials associated to those projects. And then of course, as we narrow down finalists on a large project, we're going to need to calculate the ROI. So we have this tool, again, bringing it into one space and place where other users will have access from the customer's account, as well as you as their partner will always be able to have access to come in and see. So as we're negotiating which are the best vendors to go with, we can upload one or a few ROI summaries, and then you'll see what you see here in vManager. This is an example for you. We give you current versus proposed environment, a breakdown by location, and one of my favorite stats here is savings per month and months to receiving that ROI. So lots of good details and information in one place. You don't have to dig through your inbox. You know it's going to be the most updated version if it's uploaded here. And there's that continuity across teams and you as their partner. But of course, there's always day-to-day shopping needs. So we have marketplaces as well as that proactive tool, which we'll get to in a minute. So let's talk about network and mobile, since we have network and mobile lifecycle management. So for mobile shopping, this is awesome. This is all custom catalog, and no matter which accounts and vendors they have, they can shop all of them in one space, which is here. They don't have to log into different portals or reach out to different reps. And we can even create quick orders like you're seeing here. If a customer has a standardized, like I hire a new employee and this is the phone, this is the plan, this is the storage, all of that, we'll create those here. So all they got to do is select these options and then go straight to the cart checkout screen where they'll enter user information as well as shipping details. Or they can always start the process from scratch and create a custom order. And we don't need to walk through this entire thing, but just to give you an idea of what that looks like and the many, many options that are customizable throughout this process. So device types, all of this good stuff with line origin, device source, your different carrier, again, carriers and carriers accounts will be uploaded here, including being able to shop against Quantum Shift. Looking at your different phone options, again, customizable. You don't have to have everything under the sun. It could be just what you need for your company so no one can accidentally log in and order something that they shouldn't. If there's any additional options, we'll show that here for colors and storage or even refurbished options. We also have installment plans, so vCom will subsidize the cost of the phone for customers if they need to, and then pay us back over time, or of course, purchase at full price. Then we get to the plan decisions. Again, customizable, can be uploaded based on what this customer shops from existing today or what they may need. Same with the add-ons. And you get the idea, just continuing to go through the process. Wearables can be skipped or blank entirely, so we don't accidentally order 10 new Apple Watches. And then you get to this screen. So you can really see how the quick order helps optimize, and we're constantly looking at ways to streamline this process and bring you where you need to be and to accomplish your tasks faster. And you enter this information in. And as you would imagine, once you do that, then you know it's an open order too. So that's something about the vCom experience. Anytime you're opening any sort of request in the tool, not just a shopping one, once it's open, you know that it is open and is in the queue of the team that's going to be working it, and you don't have to worry about waiting for confirmation or a call back to confirm. It's done, and then you can go see it elsewhere in the tool. So quickly showing you the network process and what that looks like. You make your selections, and obviously network technology shopping is a bit different, which is why it has a different flow from mobile, but you choose what you want to shop for. Choose the location. You can even add a new one if it's not in here, and let us know any information that we may need to get you the pricing that's most relevant for you. Now, ultimately, once you submit this, the feelers go out, and then you have a price results page where you can see any open requests that have been recently opened and see the status of it. So if is it partially ready, so some pricing is back, ready means we've got everything we're going to get on it next. And obviously recently approved will be showing here as well. So you get the idea. This is then going to spit back the pricing for you. So I can look at a recent request I opened as a test here, and I can filter accordingly. And if a customer looks at a certain pricing and says, great, that's the one that I want, they can simply check it and add to cart, or this is always further negotiable. So something to keep in mind is this is a good starting point. Sometimes the things we get back is just connected from the carrier backend, right? But that doesn't mean there isn't room for negotiation. We can always go back and support further. If a customer comes to you and says, oh, I think I like these options, but let's see if we can negotiate further, we're happy to do that as well. I did mention a proactive planning tool, and that would be here under building info, but also those same details are in its own menu. So if you don't have a pricing request you need to open, you can also find information here on check providers in my building. And this is really saying, okay, enter the location you are looking to have an installation at. And if it's a new site, not in the tool yet, you can add that new address. And then this list over here on the right is going to show you all of the available carriers and their access mediums that we have, for this location, whether things are on net or near net, and even distance, right? So this is a great proactive planning tool to say, okay, when I get that pricing back, what looks like it's already available to me and won't require maybe potential construction costs, things like that, to give you a better idea of what you could select to purchase at that location. Last module here is contracts. And the document center, as we previously discussed, is the first one here. And this is a central repository for all the documents, not just the vCom ones, although vCom ones are automated to be uploaded in here. If it's a service order you've signed through us, we're going to get that loaded in the tool, or if it's even your contracts, anything related to the vCom partnership for customers is going to be loaded in here by the vCom team or automatically by the tool. But customers can also utilize this themselves. And we've had many do that over the years. Maybe they want to upload invoice copies to get started on expense management, or if they want to upload all of their vendor contracts so that the team can have a clear idea of everything they have out there today and that their teams can have a central repository for it. Obviously, business continuity is a big thing for IT teams, and this makes sure that everyone who has access to vManager can see all of the same documents and be able to, add customized names and descriptions so they have an understanding of what's here and what they have. They can organize them into different folders. It's really simple and easy, just utilizing this button here. They can upload their documents, and it doesn't even have to be vCom relevant. It can just be for their teams or for you as their partner. If they want you to have eyes on something, they can upload it in the document center and you'll be able to have access to it as well. Couple of last things to review: service order workflow. So we can automate the workflow approvals. If a customer has the need to have contracts go through approvals before they are orders placed, then we can add those contacts into our tool as approvers, and then they can create a workflow so that the tool will then notify any approvers, hey, you have this contract pending approval, go ahead and get that done. They'll log into vManager and see a link for it to approve, and they can even do that on their mobile device via the vManager mobile app. So that's pretty nifty for those that travel as well. So we keep it really simple. It's numerical order. vCom as it is today, we don't have anything listed here, but you get the idea of users would be uploaded, and we can put that into the tool so it's automated and no contracts are actually going to be approved for ordering until they've gone through this process. And something else helpful here is the upcoming renewals report. So more proactivity, more planning and eyes on services that are coming off of term. So this is going to tell you not only the information and details associated to those assets, but if you scroll to the right, it's going to give you a 12-month planning view. So for vCom, as an example, we've got something coming up in a month, and we have something else coming up in 5 months. So it gives us the opportunity to see that at a high level collectively with any other assets that may be coming off of term. And it gives you as partners an idea of what you need to start addressing with your customers for contract renewal. I hope that demo was helpful in being able to see how planning and procurement supports your customers and you. So to quickly wrap up the benefits associated to our planning and procurement offering, we have a centralized procurement and visibility process in vManager, automated workflows for efficiency, expert guidance across all technology categories, cost optimization and custom pricing strategies, and improved vendor and contract management. Again, hitting home on people, process, platform. We have subject matter experts at your disposal that can become an extension of your team. We have repeatable processes that are at your disposal and now, again, are part of your operational procedures when you partner with vCom to support your customers. And then we have the platform vManager, which, as you saw, is full of tons of transparency, streamlined efficiencies, and visibility, not only for your customers, but for you as their advisors. So ultimately, the outcomes here: stronger strategic partnerships for long-term success, scalable and repeatable procurement framework, and smarter decision-making with data-driven insights, our favorites. That wraps up the Planning and Procurement Management session of the Partner Training Series. I hope you found this helpful in understanding how our solutions help you simplify IT management for your customers while creating new revenue opportunities for your business. If you have any questions or need support, don't hesitate to reach out to our VP of Partner Success, Jessica Van Vorst. Here is her email to contact her. Or you can also find additional resources on our website, vcomsolutions.com, or by looking us up on LinkedIn. Thanks for joining.